Hey, what up, AJ?
What's up, man?
What's up? What's up? Hey, on GameScoop this week, I just love talking about other people's podcasts. On GameScoop, they were trying to figure out what the top 3 best RPGs were for each console and each handheld like ever made. So this got me thinking about the PlayStation 1 because they skipped over so many important games on PlayStation 1. They didn't even talk about so many. So off the top of your head, top 3 best RPGs on PlayStation 1. Sirens on my
I
Head.
mean, you can't even count them, the amount of good ones on one hand.
Oh, I know.
Well, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy
8
7.
and Final Fantasy 9.
And we're done here.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, like they didn't talk about games like Kudelka, the prequel to Shadow Hearts, which is like more Sirens on my end, which is kind of like a Resident Evil feeling like RPG. Obviously Parasite Eve they didn't talk about.
Right.
Yeah,
I was thinking.
Yeah.
I never got around to finishing like Vagrant Hearts or Parasite Eve, or Vagrant Story. Sorry, or Parasite Eve.
Vagrant Story was fucking real good. Real good. I see Nihilus Ryan
was pretty good.
Nihilus Ryan in the chat has good taste. Legend of Dragoon, another good one. Yep.
Legend of Dragoon, that's a good one.
Yep.
There's a lot of the PS1 was like the golden age of like JRPGs, man.
Yeah, I mean, like the Super NES started it, right? And then like PS1 was just like insane.
On the Wii U, Xenoblade Chronicles X. Let's go, baby. Best one.
No second or third
all the
place.
other Xenoblade games.
Yeah.
That's the only one that exists to me. Oh, what? Yeah, dude. Apparently,
what's up?
Super Mario, the voice of Super Mario, Charles Martinet, is no longer going to be doing the voice of Mario. And all I got to say is, oh, no.
Yeah. No matter how
disrespectful.
No matter how, dude, I'm about to get even more disrespectful. Like, dude, Mario talking, like it's not really something I care all that much about. I don't care who the fuck voices Mario. I don't care.
Well, did you hear the news?
What?
It's now going to be Chris Pratt moving forward for all the video games.
Is that real or was that a joke?
That's a joke.
Okay.
Thank God.
Okay. Also to finish off this conversation, I think Tatum in the chat mentioned Chrono Cross, which at the time, dude, a lot of people fucking hated Chrono Cross. Like nothing could live up to Chrono Trigger, right? But I played Chrono Cross before Chrono Trigger and absolutely loved it. So when I went back and played Chrono Trigger, it was in heaven.
They should get Vin Diesel to do the next Mario voice.
I don't want to talk about this. I'm
Mario.
I want everybody to pay attention to something, okay? Because like I don't know how many astute game cats we have out there. I don't know how many people pay attention to the habits of me and my co-hosts. But let me tell you about a habit that AJ has. At the start of the show, I bring up an interesting conversation. And if he doesn't want to talk about it, he just changes the subject immediately. So pay attention because he does it all the fucking time. And I only call him out on it like once out of every 5 times he does it. So put that on your bingo card, everybody.
I don't know, man. Like we started off talking about PS1 JRPGs. And I'm just like, why do people even listen to us anymore?
Because I don't know if you noticed the chat really got excited when we started talking about PS1 RPGs.
Good. And that's why I fucking love the chat. That's why they're the greatest chat ever, because yeah.
These are our people.
These are definitely confirmed people.
These are our people, and this is our intro. Let's do it. This is PSVR Gamescast Live. We film live every single Monday, West Day, and Two Wise Friday right here on Without Parole. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube for your viewing pleasure. For all those who like to watch with your ears, you can go over to podcast services of your choice and listen to this in podcast form. That duty has moved from our good friend Jay Meow over to our good moderator, Rypop, also a good friend. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, coming to you from the depths of hell. And to my left, your right, it's AJ from The Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? I love the 90s edge you gave me with that intro. Love the 90s. I do love retro gaming. I'm back, man. I'm back in the real underground station after a week-long trip. It was great. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, still managed to play and beat Green Hell VR somehow, I guess by staying up 2:30 in the morning every single night.
Well, luckily it didn't turn out to be as long as we thought it was going to be. I remember looking up a walkthrough at a certain point just to find out where I was in the game, and I was like, oh shit, I think I've got like 7 more hours. But as it turns out, I had like an hour and a half more to go, or 2 more hours or something. So it was only like, how long did it take you? I think it took me like 11 hours.
Yeah, it had to have been like somewhere between like 13 to 15, and then like I played like I played some extra stuff too, but yeah, it seemed I was taking my time for the most part until I got towards the end of the game, and I was just like, all right, let's just make this drink and get on with it. Like, because that's what the final like objectives are.
Yeah, I think we both ended up with the same conclusions on this one. Right? We both really loved it at first, and then slowly but surely, all of the smaller things that like really got in the way of immersion, got in the way of us like really enjoying it, slowly chipped away at our good time. And ultimately, for me personally, I think the story and the set pieces did not continue on this upward trajectory the way that they were at first, and bringing more and more mystery into the fold. Instead, it just like kind of fell flat at the end, and I was like, oh man, this is like an episode of Lost. Really disappointing.
Yeah, I was liking where the story was going, but definitely by the it's like you said, man, you need to just play this game for like 7 hours or something and then just stop.
Yeah.
And then wait for them to patch the rest of it. But no, it was it definitely had its bright spots and stuff, and you know, I think some of the backlash is pretty justified, although I try to take a more balanced approach of like, you know, yes, it has these issues, but I also enjoyed this, and you know, not just like but like I said on Saturday stream where I did interactive chat, it's like I think there were some valid criticisms, and you know, and I am okay with like demanding better. Like, you know, actually my favorite rant on this game was actually I've been checking out the Virtual Strangers. Our good friend Wes, co-host, and make sure you go. Links in the description to then subscribe to Virtual Strangers if you haven't. I listened to their like review of it or whatever, discussion of it, and Eric went off on it, and but he comes from a place of, you know, he's somebody that, you know, comes from a place of love and someone who cares, and he just nailed it on the head in terms of like, you know, what we should have gotten versus what we did get in regards to that game, whether you liked it or not. It is, I think, important to do, but great job great discussion by them. You know, talking about like, look, it doesn't have to be the Quest port. It doesn't have to be the PC port, which like hardly runs. But it could have just been like a PlayStation VR2 version. Like it should have been like its own little version. Utilize the, you know, the eye tracking and stuff. They went in a big rant about like, you know, every game should utilize the eye tracking, and it was a great thing. I highly recommend you go check it out.
Yep. Excellent. Glad to hear that there's some good opinions floating out there. And yeah, I mean, I definitely think we deserve better. But at the same time, a lot of the criticisms that were sort of lodged at this thing were unfair. It is really fun to play, and I think I mean, especially for the price, they're asking a very fair price for this game. $30, $27 with the discount. You know, and what, with a few patches, I think this one is going to be a solid 8 or so for me. Just once they clean up everything.
Yeah, it needs a lot of patches, but needs graphics and bugs fixed, and it would at least be like an 8.
More so than more than the graphics, the audio for me. We got Macho X3, the real estate procrastinating game cat exclamation point.
Macho.
That's it. I feel like that was a letdown.
It's times 3, Brian. It's times 3.
That's it. Times 3. I'll keep that in mind for the next time. How come everything's letting me down lately, AJ? Everything starts off great and then just goes nowhere. Like my relationships. With the $5 tips, he writes, AJ, I watched your review of Green Hell today. Oh, you did agree. Okay, great job. I think you had the most accurate score for that game, in my opinion. I didn't know you did a Green Hell review because I'm not subscribed to you. He says, nailed it. Congratulations. What was your what was your final score? What was the most? Was this
It wasn't far off. It wasn't far from yours. I gave it a 6.8.
Oh, we were 0.3 points away, 0.3 of a point away. Nice.
Yeah, and I said I could have, I could have swayed it a little. It could go in either direction a couple of points, because I did enjoy it at the end of the day. But yeah, 6.8, like because at this it's unfortunate because I wanted to go higher because there is so much content because we beg for big games like this, but then I do think they cut too many corners here. Is what I described. I don't think it's I don't know. I hate the word saying lazy devs, lazy port, whatever. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it being the Quest version because it's from what I hear about the PCVR version, it hardly runs. It doesn't even work. So I'm like, and it's also the Quest version was built for VR. So it's like, I'm okay with what they were going for.
Yeah.
But they didn't execute it well, well enough. And so, yeah, it's just, as much as I had fun with it, I also had a lot of frustration with it.
Well, I think one of the best things you can ever say about any game is that you want more of it, right? And I think, I think the biggest issue with Green Hell is that, if you go and look at the PC VR version, or you go look at a gameplay, somebody, running through the entire game or just giving you like a review of it or something, then you find out that the game that you just played and loved and want more of, there is more of it somewhere, and we didn't get that, right? And so, because I saw Twitcher in the comments talking about, oh, you can do some farming stuff, kind of like raise your own plants and stuff, and kind of like create this sustainable place to live type thing. And so that's what I want, man. That's what I want in any survival game. I want to suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer, and then start surviving, and eventually I want to thrive. And I feel like in Green Hell, I just survived the whole time, and it didn't give me the opportunity to thrive. It was sort of like, just keep fucking walking forward and get to the end of the game. And I was like, yeah, all right, let's just do that.
I could have totally done without the story there. But by the end of it, I was like, I really just enjoyed the surviving and exploring part. And I just wanted more of that, and crafting and eating shit in the jungle.
Yeah, I ate a lot of shit in the jungle. Andrew Bailey with the 2 quid says, Brian the Lion, King of the Cats. Gamescom ONL? No. Thank you so much for the 2 quid. No, I'm not going to stream opening night live for Gamescom. Did I say Gamescast or Gamescom? Because I feel like I said Gamescast ONL. I got the invitation, the one that everybody gets to co-stream Gamescom, and we've learned our lesson. Don't waste your time. Don't sit there for 4 hours with Exfil, looking at the screen board and being like, when's there going to be something we care about? No, I'll sit and watch from my bed. And then when something happens, I'll get up and make a breaking news report. And guess what? You know where the best place to cover Gamescom is? From right fucking here. Screw being at Gamescom. I'm so happy for everyone who went, all the developers who are there, all the content creators are there. I'm very, very happy that that's something you want to do. This is where I want to be. I hate leaving, AJ. I hate leaving.
I know you do.
Yeah. People keep asking me to go places, and I'm like, no, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Why don't you understand? I don't want to go anywhere. Not Sure Brondo with the $5 tip says, I give up. I was trying to change my YouTube handle to Not Sure Brondo, the window licking special game cat. Wait, why are we looking windows? But even without the spaces, it's too long. Oh, well, thank you for the attempt, and thank you for letting us know what it was. My cat doesn't lick windows. I feel like I'm missing some kind of euphemism here. I know I'm missing one other tip here. I just got to scroll down far enough to see it. Living Legend with a Canadian $5 tip says, "Sup, Gamecats. Do you know if Ven VR is slated for this year? I really hope so." Did they say a date? They just said coming soon, right?
I think they're aiming for 2023. I want to say, I don't remember at this point. It's been too much time has passed. Too many other things have happened.
Yeah.
I'm expecting it in 2023, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets pushed to 2024. But yeah, that's definitely one I'm looking forward to. We need more platformers.
Steel Free Shorts in the chat says, "Hey Brian, what's the best way to contact you?" There are a million ways to contact me. You can
apparently just commenting during a live show.
Yeah, it worked. It worked pretty well right now. Yeah, what do you got? Let's just have our conversation right now. So since you have my attention, without parole@gmail.com. There's you can also hit me up on Discord. My DMs are open. You can hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are open. By the way, fuck Twitter. I'm moving to Blue Sky as soon as fucking possible. If anybody needs a beta key, let me know. Because if they do remove the block feature, like, I am just so fucking done with that place. It was already going downhill. Now it's at the bottom of the hill. There's nowhere else we can go, AJ. Let's get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, the block is like the only feature I needed. I don't want to see all these annoying people.
Varglesoft in the chat says, "Licking windows is what the French call window shopping."
Oui. Oh, Charlie.
Hey man, I know it's Monday.
Let's drink some wine and lick some windows. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I'm gonna drink some iodine.
Yes, gotta heal them wounds
from the inside out. It's Monday. Let's do some Gamecat name changes, AJ.
That's right. It is Monday, Brian, and we would like to thank those who support us in another way by changing your name to something Gamecat related, or something Gamecat adjacent, as you and something Gamecat adjacent like to say. And this week we have one new Gamecat to welcome to the Gamecat Dojo. Just one. I feel like we've been on a roll lately with like 20 every week, and now we have one. So thank you to the one and only, the hippie Game Cow in the Garden of the Sea Pickle.
Bing! When you say the one and only, do you also hear your viewer takeover intro in your head?
I do now.
Because every time I hear the one and only, that's all I hear. The
one and only.
That's for the...
That was the God Cannon's face reveal, Brian. That was a big moment for me. It's
nice.
Like, oh God, I'm finally showing myself on the internet. What am I doing?
Yeah, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, back when we did the show Viewer Takeover, when we just answered people's questions, every single episode began with a viewer introducing the show, just being like, "Hey, my name's whatever the Game Cat. This is Viewer Takeover." Some people got creative, some people didn't. It didn't matter. It was cool seeing everyone's faces. And AJ, when he was a viewer of the channel instead of a co-host, sent maybe one of the best Viewer Takeover intros ever. It was a song. Oh. And head on over to Discord, and I will, and I'll post it in there to embarrass the fuck out of him after the show.
I think if you just search for Resident Evil Viewer Takeover, you'll find it. Or maybe you got to add PSVR in there as well. But yeah, go and just enjoy embarrassing me.
So hippie Game Cow in the Garden of the Sea Pickle. What's the cow? I've got obviously Garden of the Sea. That's easy. What's the cow part of it?
The hippie Game Cow. Yeah, I don't know where the cow part is, but
maybe not
definitely
a
Garden of the Sea.
Maybe he's across the valley.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe it's across the valley and a Garden of the Sea.
Okay. He's doing a lot of farming in VR.
Reference.
Nice.
Yes.
Excellent. Macho X3, the real estate procrastinating Game Cat with a $1 tip. Didn't say anything, but you know what? What are you going to do? I feel like he said something else and I didn't give him the credit for. Yeah, there it is. I fucking knew. Macho also gave us $5 tips. Says, during loading in video clips, it made my eyes feel cross-eyed. It did suck that opening was a 2D cutscene in Green Hell. And then the load screens were like sort of 2D, but sort of 3D. And I was like, what the hell? So dumb. Unnecessary loading screens. Guys, don't forget, if you change your name to GameCat because you love us almost as much as we love you, make sure you put hashtag GameCat in the comments below any of our videos. Well, my videos, I guess, because we're not going to search AJ's videos. And we'll give you a shout out on next week's show. Meow. All right, man. We have a lot of news to talk about. First and foremost is going to be, you know that today was August 21st, AJ. Do you know what was going to happen on August 21st? Do you know everybody? We all woke up today. We're all scouring the internet. We're looking through Twitter/X.com and refreshing bloodiest games, refreshing perp games, because supposedly on August 21st, we were supposed to have a Madison VR gameplay reveal.
And we didn't get it?
No, we didn't get it. It was a really big build-up, though, wasn't it? That was...
Dude, I mean, how long do we have to wait to see some gameplay on this thing? This is one of my most anticipated horror games. This and Phasmophobia. You know, there's a lot of horror games in VR, but there's not many good ones. So I'm really excited about these. And yeah, man, it's just been teaser after teaser. And what happened? Like, how do you tease like a gameplay reveal and then not show up?
I don't know what happened.
Lose the footage.
I don't know what happened. Okay, I don't know what specifically went down. But I did talk to Mickey, the CEO of Perp, over there in jolly old England just before the show began, and I said, "Hey, wasn't there supposed to be something special today?" And he goes, "That'll be tomorrow." So everybody, stay tuned. It should be tomorrow.
Oh, well, at least we don't have to wait that long. But man, they really need to get this timing stuff down, man. There's, you know, VR Skater delayed like 3 times. Really good game, by the way.
Really good game.
Now this, like, well, they got to get that ironed out.
So here's why I don't have that big of a problem with it. The only reason I actually have a problem with it, let's start there, is because every single tease we've gotten, every single mention of Madison VR has not shown anything. And it's just been like, well, you can stop talking about it until you have gameplay to show us. But the fact is that we've seen the game, like the flat screen version, right? And so how much different is the VR version gameplay really going to look? Maybe we'll just have 2 hands in the game running around. Maybe we got to shake those Polaroids ourselves, which would be fucking awesome. But I don't expect it to look that much different from the stuff we've already seen, because the game's been out for like a year or 2. So it's care, don't care. At least it's coming soon.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine that they're setting this up for, we might get a release date as well. Maybe that's what, I don't know. You'd have to imagine this is coming in time for spooky season.
I mean, you would hope so. I mean,
I sure hope so.
Why do I have a bad feeling that like Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted VR2, Happy Fun Land, Numata, Madison, what other horror game? Phasmophobia. Like, what? Everything's going to get delayed and pushed to the exact same day in October, and it's just going to be like this chaotic explosion or something.
If it's early October, like if it's spread out around October, I'd be totally happy with that. Or at least as long as it's not all late October, because then you won't have time to play them. But yeah, we've had so many Octobers where there weren't any horror games to play, so it'll be nice to finally get one again.
Agraxis with the $2 tip says nothing. Or we got some balloons in the number 1 or 7 or something in there. So thank you for the balloons. Very nice. Now let's Ryan, the game feeling with the $5 tip, says, repeating something Matt and Kunda recently said. Paper Beast showed up in the PlayStation VR2 store, even though it's just the PSVR1 version. Paper Beast coming soon? ? Well, yeah. I mean, a bunch of PSVR1 games have previously shown up in the PSVR2 section and then got announced for PSVR2. I mean, Crysis...
Nobody is more reliable leaker than Sony themselves. We've learned.
Yeah.
like, dude, that's another thing too. Yeah, like we used to... I don't know. What happened? They literally leak everything themselves these days.
It's the best marketing they have.
Yeah.
I really hope that Paper Beast gets a little bit of Like man, they need to blow the resolution through the roof out of that game. Like really make the lighting worthwhile. Like, I mean, it's a game that's very artistic, and so I think they need to double down on that when it becomes a PSVR2 game. I have no doubt that it's going to be a PSVR2 game. Crisis Brigade 2 is currently on the store right now in the PSVR2 section. Guess what? It's the PSVR1 game. We know full well next month it's coming to PSVR2, but that's why it's sitting there. So if Paper Beast is sitting there, there's no question about it. But this game I feel like was an interesting puzzle game, an interesting experiment, a nice artistic piece of media. But I think they need to double down on the artistic side of it with PSVR 2. And I really hope they give us something like, I don't know, maybe like a body in game or full locomotion, that kind of thing. Like just to really up the immersion factor. What would do it for you on Paper Beast, AJ?
That's all I needed was smooth turning and full locomotion. That's literally my biggest complaint about the game. I mean, yeah, because otherwise it had some really good physics. It had some, a pretty good art style. Yeah, the sandbox mode was actually really good, even though I didn't like spend tons of time with it. It was well done. But yeah, that was the big thing for me. It like wasn't immersive because you're just click, 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 turn. Like, I don't know. Right. Kills it for me.
Yep. Well, so, I mean, we've got a lot of things to be excited for this week, AJ. For anyone who hasn't been paying attention, Games Radar does this. I think it's got to be quarterly because they do it so goddamn frequently. The Future Game Show, they're always doing a Future Game Show. I think it's going to be quarterly. And they're actually going to be showcasing Vertigo 2 this week.
Yes.
For PSVR 2 during Gamescom. So they're doing it live from Gamescom. So we got that to look forward to. We got Madison VR tomorrow. We're going to check out that gameplay footage. And then also tomorrow will be a secret revealed by Vertigo Games regarding the seventh guest. We don't have a release date for this. All they had said so far was that it was 2023. What do you think the secret could possibly be? Do you think it's going to be a release date, a price? What?
Well, we've had a pretty big announcement on it. Yeah, maybe perhaps a release window.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some first gameplay footage. We shall see.
Yeah,
we haven't seen. I mean, I guess what we've seen in the trailer looked like gameplay footage, and I don't think it said not actual gameplay, so it probably was.
Yeah, I would say so.
What I'd like to see is I want to see the FMV. I mean, I know it's not going to have the same effect, but it's really cool that they're recapturing that FMV thing, but now it's going to be applied to a 3D space where you're going to have actors like walking around and still acting and in the game. I mean, yeah, you can see some in the footage here, and I want to see like some dialogue or something.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of faith in this game? I mean, I know it's this beloved, classic CD-ROM game from a lot of our childhoods, a lot of people's teenage years, depending on how old we are. Do you have faith that they're going to be able to recreate this? This is from Vertigo themselves.
Yeah, I think this looks pretty cool. I think this looks really cool.
But the reason I'm asking is because of the track record, right? Like we got Arizona Sunshine, we got After the Fall,
Vertigo games,
So it's very, very curious what Vertigo proper is capable of these days.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Vertigo has struggled as much as like Serbios or anything, so I like their chances more. Vertigo's had some hit and misses, but they never like really fell off a cliff or anything. Like they've always done okay.
Yeah, they've done okay. I'm excited for this one. Really excited for this one. Very curious to see actual PSVR 2 graphics. I don't know if you guys remember the PSVR this week that I put together when this trailer first came out for the PSVR 2 version, but it's literally the same version as the Quest version. It's the exact same footage except they just desaturated the colors for the PSVR2 trailer. Like it's literally the same exact graphics, same exact gameplay. Somebody just knocked the saturation down about 30 points. It's exactly the same. Like, did they think this was going to make it look realistic, or like I'm very confused by what they did here. So hopefully I would like to see some actual real PSVR2 gameplay. I'd like to see how it's going to differ from the Quest 2 version. This is the stuff I care about, because obviously we want it to be the best version of the game. As always, everyone's like, we just paid $500 for a PlayStation 5 and $550 for a PSVR2. We deserve the best version. That's all I hear day in, day out. And I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, I don't disagree either. I think if the hardware is capable of it, yeah, like definitely want like an enhanced version, the best version it can possibly be. So I think especially getting some games, several examples we've had, like Star Wars. Oh, God, I'm trying to think of Demio.
What kind of examples are you giving us? Upgraded ports.
Yeah, like if it's okay to be on both systems. Right. They're both the two biggest VR headsets out there. But really, like, but don't just go with the lowest common denominator in terms of like features and power and graphical fidelity. Like, if you take the time to like tailor the game for PlayStation VR2, you have the potentially much bigger audience to connect with and to sell on. Like, look at the success that like Red Matter 2 had, and Synapse and stuff. You have the chance to break into like the like mainstream gaming culture if your game is good enough. So yeah, don't squander it like some recent games did.
It's funny because Rhodey, the Gamecat Army General in the chat, reminds us that Seventh Guest was one of the first CD-ROM games. He says it was not scary, but it was a flat screen puzzle game. So hopefully they'll add some scares. I agree. I think that's something a lot of us when we were younger might have played it and been like, oh, it's scary. But if you were old enough to realize, you're like, this setting is like creepy, but it's absolutely not a horror game. Really, really hoping that they lean more heavily into the horror, because I think that's what a lot of people would be looking for when they walk into a big fucking creepy mansion with the name The Seventh Guest on it. I think you need to up the ante in that department.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It always had like a creepy atmosphere and stuff, and I think that's all it really has to do.
Yeah, I think it has to do more. Fight me. And if you guys are looking for more coverage of Resident Evil 4, you have exactly 1 month to wait until is it Tokyo Game Show, when we're going to see Capcom display a few more games. And Resident Evil 4 VR is going to be one of those games. AJ, I find the list of games that they're going to show off ridiculous. At Tokyo Game Show, they're showing off Street Fighter 6, Monster Hunter Now, Exoprimal, Apollo Justice 456, which is just like, I believe, the Phoenix Wright trilogy or Apollo Justice trilogy. It's called Apollo Justice, so it's the Apollo. Yeah. And then Resident Evil 4 VR. None of these are like new. Like, I know Exoprimal, I mean, that's out now. And so, but like, now, so you're going to show that again at TGS? It's a very strange group of games that they've highlighted. And maybe they've just highlighted these games saying, we're gonna talk more about these games, and then there'll also be other things. Or do you think this is gonna be it?
Maybe they'll be. Yeah, they don't usually. Do they usually do like big announcements? There's usually a couple announcements, but I don't think they usually ever announce anything unless I'm just like completely blanking here. I don't recall any huge announcements at Tokyo Game Show. It's more like showing off stuff.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait for them to show off more of this, because obviously this last gameplay trailer that we got that actually revealed some of the the first person VR stuff looks incredible. As I've said many times, as you said many times, it looks even better than Village. So hopefully they've learned a few things and they can make this VR AF. I'm fucking excited, dude. What's your estimate? I mean, I know we just kind of throw out random dates for this, but it's fun to speculate. What's your estimate? When do you think this game is coming out?
Well, I've always thought probably March, like a year after release. But with this being fully playable at Tokyo Game Show, I mean, I've definitely been speculating that it could arrive sooner, and that would be amazing. I mean, if this, we still have what, a month and a half before October, dude, like a surprise October drop would be like insane, or something before the holidays. That would be amazing. And you know, Village came out a year after the game was released, but PSVR2 wasn't out yet. PSVR2 is out now.
Yeah. There's this will actually give us a fantastic idea of, you know, just how long it'll take for Capcom to bring games over to VR, you know, even big games like this, or, you know, because we know full well that, like, you know, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil Village, this wasn't the full team of Capcom, like, working on these things, bringing it over to VR. It's a very, very, very small, like, group of, like, 3 or 4 people kind of toiling away in the back of the office, being like, we're almost there, right? It's really not, like, that big of their team getting these things out there. I'd been saying for a long time, AJ, that I think it's going to be a holiday 2023 game. But as we get closer to the holidays, and I realize that we have all of these third-party games that still need to be released, right? Every time we talk about another game, it's like, oh, Vampire the Masquerade is going to be playable at, like, PAX West. It's like, wait, Vampire the Masquerade, that's coming out this year too, right? It's like every single time we talk about a game, it's like, oh yeah, this year, right? We know about very few games that are actually coming out next year. So I kind of think that, like, there's this opportunity for, you know, for Capcom and Sony to kind of sit back and let third parties carry the holidays. This being the first holiday season that PSVR 2's had, because then people will pick it up, have Gran Turismo to play, have Village to play, have Horizon to play, have Red Matter to play, have all these just fantastic fucking games, Synapse, and that'll carry them through. And then, you know, and that, like you said, like somewhere around like February or March, like hit them again, right? And be like, yeah, we've got all these fucking amazing games, but also look at this, the exclusive VR version of Resident Evil 4. I think it would be a great strategy. I would love it for the holidays, don't get me wrong, but I think it would be a great strategy to do it this way too.
I don't think they have anything to lose at this point. Just release it when it's ready. Like, you literally have nothing to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. Oh, hey there. I didn't even know you were next to me until I brought up the full screen. There we go. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what their marketing strategy is for PSVR 2. I don't know what their marketing strategy is for PS5 at this point. So
there's a marketing strategy?
Nope. Nope. Damn it. Well, I feel like October would be a great time to release this. If it's not, like, you know, if it's coming this year, I definitely feel like October would be the best time for it. I mean, if it's possible, sure. Right, like they could be marketing on all fronts for Halloween. That would be amazing. I would.
Yeah,
love that.
and then you still have, you know, you give people time to save up for the holidays, and I guarantee you, there will be people saving up to get a PSVR 2 for Resident Evil 4 around Christmas time. Absolutely.
How cool would it be to have a Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil Village bundle? With PSVR 2, right? Here's your Christmas deal.
Gran Turismo 7.
And Gran Turismo 7, right? Yeah.
Boom.
Here's our Nightmare Before Christmas PSVR 2 bundle for you.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, that's what I did there.
Yeah, they definitely. I mean, you don't have to do that, but that'd be great. Why not?
Whatever. But I will tell you though, you know, we're finally getting closer to the end of August, AJ, and I love that I haven't had a mental breakdown yet because when August first rolled, you know, when we first heard about August, and oh yeah, what's going on? Okay, tornado's taking over the show, you guys. I will hold my thought.
Tornado take over.
So okay, yeah, you can stand there. It's fine. So August was a scary month for me. It still is a scary month for me because we've only got like 9 days left in the month, and we have 3 major games still coming out. We've got Firewall Ultra, we've got Crossfire Sierra Squad, and Phasmophobia supposedly still coming out according to developers. So it's very much a promising rest of the month, but also a crazy busy rest of the month, dude. next month is already packed. Have you seen the release dates for next month? On the 6th, we got Toss, whether you care about it or not, I don't know. 14th, we got Down and Out. I don't know who cares about that. 19th, we got Broken Edge. On 19th, we've also got Ruins Magus Complete Edition. The 21st, Hellsweeper VR. And then
that right there.
Right?
That right there, man. Yeah. Hellsweeper VR is absolutely the biggest thing I'm waiting on so far.
And then somewhere in the mix, we'll also have the PSVR2 version of Alvo, it seems, and Crisis Brigade 2.
When's Arashi supposed to come?
2023.
That wasn't September?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember them putting a date on it, but I could be completely wrong. I have no idea.
Maybe they just said fall. I'm looking forward to, I'm definitely looking forward to Arashi and, dude, Hellsweeper, man. Hellsweeper.
Yeah.
I keep hearing, people keep telling me there's co-op in it.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that's confirmed.
I mean, so hold on. Let me go over.
I know Sirento had co-op,
mm-hmm.
but I feel like I don't remember them saying like in any of the trailers and any.
Well, so just to clarify on Sirento, we only got 2-player co-op, right, on PSVR 1, but it had 4-player co-op and PvP on PC.
Did it?
Yes. So
4-player co-op on PC?
Yeah, I just had a conversation with Finn in voice chat about this recently, and so I looked it up, and that's
he was one of the ones that told me it had co-op.
So
how did I not know this?
Yeah, so on the Steam store page, it's definitely saying online co-op. I am not seeing I'm not seeing a number for how many players. Or for those who can't handle it alone, team up with your friends, survive together, die together. But it doesn't say. I'm assuming if Sirento was 4 players on PC, then this will also be 4 players on PC, and then we're likely getting the PC VR version. So my bet would be this is 4-player co-op.
Dude, if that's 4-player co-op, like holy shit, that's big. That's really, really big. Because I think most people are interested in this game for the single player alone. But what's the number one thing people ask for is multiplayer in games. And so yeah, man, if it's got multiplayer too, which apparently Vader's saying it's up to 4 players. So holy shit, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. Looking good, man. Looking good. Meanwhile, the entire time we're talking about Hellsweeper, what trailer do I have playing? Toss. I know what the cats want.
Oh man. Oh no. I mean, I'm not like dreading playing Toss. It looks like it could be a fun, cool, simple, colorful, charming platformer, first person platformer, but I can definitely, whenever, like, it's definitely like on the backlog. It's not a priority by any means, but I'm hoping that when I do eventually play it, that it's like, all right.
And during AJ's thoughts on Toss, I was playing trailer 4. Anybody? That's right. Fucking Hellsweeper. Very nice.
The sales for Toss are going to go really high, and the sales for Hellsweeper just dropped.
Right. I thought Toss was this demon game with all these realistic graphics and 4-player co-op. Living Legend with the Canadian $5 tip says, I'm praying that the MidEvil remake comes to... Are they doing another fucking MidEvil remake? Or is he talking about the one that we already got on like PS4 a while ago? Wasn't that like forever ago?
He's saying, I think MidEvil 2 remake is what he's hoping for or something.
Okay.
Praying that the MidEvil remake comes. Finish the sentence, Brian.
I should finish the thought. Yeah.
It all makes sense.
I would bet a pizza it won't. He says, I'm praying that the MidEvil remake comes to PSVR 2 or that they start working on a MidEvil 2 remake. My childhood Halloween memories. I mean, sir, I don't know if I want to be Sir Daniel Fortescue in first-person VR. I mean, I'll take whatever I can get. I would rather be Maximo and do some Ghosts to Glory in first person. That I could look down and have like little heart boxer shorts on. Okay, moving on. I mean, would you? I would. I would be fine with a third person medieval game in VR. Give me that. That'd be fun.
Sure.
There's no way I'm playing it on the flat screen, unfortunately. So if it comes to VR,
no, I
person,
tried.
I would do it.
I think I bought it just to support it because I did love that game a long time ago, but but I don't think I ever played it. I started to it. I was just like, I don't know.
You loved that game a long time ago, but maybe it didn't hold up, AJ?
Yeah.
Like all of your other favorite PS1 games?
No, I loved the remake of Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah. But you didn't play the remake of MidEvil.
And the Spyro remastered trilogy, reignited trilogy was amazing.
Yeah. And where the fuck was our VR mode for Crash Team Racing remake?
Yeah, and I'm still waiting on Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
And Metal Gear Solid. Give me it all.
Finn in the chat says that he's wrong. The PSVR 2 version has 2 players. Again, the Steam store doesn't clarify, so I don't think that we're getting like a 2-player version when the PC version's got 2 players. It doesn't say. I'm sure that it's probably just 2 players across the board. I'll try to get some clarification on that.
You tell them, Shades.
What did Shades say? That's what I said. I literally said that. MidEvil could also be a good third-person VR game. I literally just said that.
The thing below that, his next sentence.
I can't read that. It's like in a different language, and I don't read stupid. I only took like 1 year of stupid, and that was like 30 years ago. So
Jet Moto is still a great game. That's right. Everybody, tell Brian how wrong he is.
Listen.
He can never.
I loved Jet Moto 1 back in the day, right? I did. I loved it. I had a good time with it for a long time. It was my only.
You didn't.
I did. I asked for it for like my birthday or Christmas or something, and I got it.
You're just trying to win an argument here. You're just being manipulative.
I don't think it's aged well, but I would love it in VR. I think that concept would be amazing in VR. That grappling hook around the corners, I think that would be an amazing rush to shoot that electric grappling hook out and just go boom, right around corners. That would be a rush. I'd love it. Wally, it is now a Gamecat, specifically a White Tiger with the Canadian $2 tip, says, nearing 100,000 subscribers. Keep it up. May God bless you.
98.1, Brian.
Cool. There's a lot of you guys. Thanks for being here. I love you. It's slow going. Like I'm in no rush to get 100,000 subscribers. And here's why, AJ. Because I have no plans for when we hit 100,000. Like I want to do something special for the community. I want to have fun. I want to make a special video. I want it to be a big event. I don't have time for that right now, and I also don't have the creativity for that right now. So really need to slow the roll a little bit. If everyone could just unsubscribe and then resubscribe in a few months, I'm gonna need it. This is the opposite of what every other YouTube channel does, AJ. All right, dude. We need let's real quick talk about the Firewall news. We didn't do a show on Friday with Miles, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. I was absolutely fucking beat. I tried, but I was totally beat. And that means we didn't have a chance to talk about the Firewall news. AJ, before we get into what they revealed on the PlayStation blog about the Firewall Ultra PvE mode, are you concerned about this game being the fact that it's the, 21st and it's like 3 days away and we really haven't seen more new footage? We haven't really seen anything new about Firewall. Are you concerned at all?
No.
Okay, good.
Now, obviously, things, it could launch, and I'm not saying there's no chance it could have a rocky launch or it could come out and not be as good as we anticipated. But what do I feel? I feel like this game is going to be amazing. I think it's going to be really, really good. What I said on Saturday, I think, was the reason I'm really confident in this is because the majority of the game is basically Firewall 0 Hour, which was amazing. I'm expecting this to be Firewall 0 Hour with some enhancements and some new content. And Like that's all they have to do to make this a success.
Yeah. I'm torn. I'm torn because I do feel like I have a lot of faith in this team. I think that they are that they've got a lot of potential, and that they never stop supporting Firewall 0 Hour. Like I mean, like just nonstop support throughout the PSVR1 generation till the very, very end. And so I have a lot of faith that they've been working on this for a long time, that they're very passionate about this, that they want to make it the best game that they can. My only concern would be that, they're not publishing it. This is Sony published. And I'm just, not 100% sure, what's going on behind the scenes in terms of that, right? Like how much control First Contact really has and how much control Sony has. So it's going to be an interesting
it's Sony's IP, so Sony has all the control.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely.
And that's what concerns me a little bit. But obviously it's the same thing that happened with Firewall 0 Hour, and they ended up making a fantastic game with very long legs. So I think this will probably be good at launch. I'm a little concerned that it may not be great at launch, and people will bitch and moan and cry and say, "Told you so."
I think
it'll get better.
I think if it deserves it, then it deserves it. There's no, like, as much as it sucks and whatnot, like I'm totally okay with people going after, getting on to developers about bringing a quality product to us. Like, no, that only helps us at the end of the day. As long as it's truthful, right? I think that I have no problem with demanding better, but
yeah, I have no problem with demanding better either. I'm not a fan of the way people have been demanding better. I think a lot of people, I mean, when you just hurl insults at developers constantly, when people out there have no idea what it takes to actually make a game,
right?
Constant lazy developer, lazy port, like just total cash grab. It's like people don't know what those terms mean if they're using them so casually like that.
Yeah, I mean, if it's so easy, go make your own game.
Right.
Like, show me. But I don't have a problem with people demanding better. And
right. Sorry. The point I want to make is that it only benefits us if it's done in the right way. Because I don't know if I've shared this story with you, but I do know of a game that was supposed to come to VR a couple of years ago, and the team literally couldn't deal with the VR community because of their demands, and just in the way that they were treated by the VR community, and said, "Fuck it, we're not going to make this in VR because we can't stand you guys." Like they literally were very vocal about it, and then they went very quiet about it. Like they removed a lot of their posts and shit. So like. And I don't want to call them out. I don't want to like be talking about what game it is or who the developer is, but like, it can hurt us. It can absolutely hurt us because I can totally see people saying, "Man, these guys suck," and just walk away and say, "If you fucking just deal with what you got, we don't want to put up with this shit anymore." So be right. Just they're people. Be respectful. That's all I've got to say.
Well. It is an interesting kind of thing that's going on this generation. This is a little bit different than last gen. Every single generation, every single has like where people's expectations change, what they come to expect, and this generation definitely has this like people are they're a little bit more nitpicky about things
for sure.
Yeah, it's just a little all over the place. It's not always the best thing that's going on, but like I said, I think transparency is important. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, when games do get it right, they're still not good enough sometimes, and that's what pisses me off. We talk about like Song in the Smoke all the time, and it's just like, well, it's cartoony, dude. It's such a good game though. Like it has a little bit of cartoony art style and whatnot. Like it gets a little, I don't know. It just feels, to me, it feels like there's no winning regardless. Like it literally feels like there's no winning unless every last little bitty thing is perfect.
Electrical Blast in the chat says, "Can you talk about David Jagneau's responses to the questions in First Contact Entertainment's Discord?" I can't because I don't go over there. That is a dumpster fire. Their Discord is like the place where dreams go to die. So I stay away from there. We have a nice friendly Discord where like we don't shit on everything. And so I don't hang out there. that being said, I can guarantee you, without even knowing what you're talking about, David Jagno is the community manager? I don't know what the fuck David does over there. But he's the one that sends out all the emails from First Contact. They all have his name on them. I'm sure people are asking questions that First Contact literally can't answer because, again, it's a Sony published product. They have all the control. There's literally things that they can and cannot talk about, and they mostly can't talk about anything. So I'll love to go check out what you're talking about and find out exactly what it is, but I guarantee you that's the answer. All right, man. Before we move on to our final news story, we got Macho X3, the real estate procrastinating game cat, with a $5 tip. Rare says Chivalry 2 in VR would be great. If haven't, play that game. It's a ton of fun. As I play it in first-person view, I could see myself easily playing it in VR. Chivalry 2, AJ.
I don't know. Did we even talk about the PvE mode in Firewall?
we don't have time for that shit.
Okay, yeah. I'm with you.
I mean, listen, go to the PlayStation blog. This is the longest show ever. No, it's do you want to talk about it? I feel like we should talk about it.
I mean, I talked about it on Saturday, so I got it out of my system. But what are your thoughts? What do you think of the new PvE mode called Exfil, Brian?
Here.
Where there's now 3 laptops that you have to hack, and then you have to escape. Does this mode sound exciting to you?
It does, because I know a lot of people probably are like, oh, now there's only 3 laptops, now big fucking deal, big difference. But to me, it actually sounds really exciting.
Actually, most people are pretty excited about it.
Good. I mean, I'm glad to hear that because it's, I've been hearing about this mode for a very long time. The developers seem extremely excited about this mode, and it seems really fucking intense, right? It seems like it adds a whole new dimension to Firewall, and I really like the idea of it. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm going to summarize this real quick. They say, what is in the Exfil mode? He said, in Exfil, you and up to 3 other players will set out on missions to secure data on, 3 laptops. We've designed each map to accommodate both PvE and PvP game modes, so you're always uncovering new pathways through levels and finding great flanking spots to take out enemies. When you first load into the Exfil mission, you'll hack into one of 2 available access points to reveal the laptop locations, then make your plan of attack. Blah, 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 blah. Once the laptops are revealed, they will appear at spawn points from a dynamic set of locations. So when you replay, it's not repetitive. You have to be careful in this mode, though, because the AI patrols are deadly. Okay, and then, of course, as you do your thing, the AI squad will converge on your location, and you'll have to get to the exfiltration spot alive with your whole team, and basically defend that spot until you're able to be pulled out of there. Right? Did I miss anything important, AJ?
No. Okay. That's the part that sounds like definitely the most intense. That's kind of what's being sold as like the most intense part is the extraction, like getting to that point, hunkering down, and then just like fending off like, a bunch of enemies and trying to survive. I like what they're doing here. I like the way they structured this, and I hope it has a really intense. There's 2 things I hope to see. One, really intense survival, like at the end, like you really feel like you're fighting for your life and that you're depending on your teammates, your squad mates to get out of there alive. That would be really cool. And then I do hope that there's like a way to kind of like stealth around a little bit, and do accomplish some of the objectives like without being detected at first, and have some things to go. And you did miss one thing though, Brian.
What'd I miss?
It's called like the black market something missions. I don't remember what it was called, but it's like there's some sort of like side missions that they're going to be like side objectives and challenges basically that they're going to be introducing into this as well. So it'll give you like a little side challenge to do in the middle of all this as well.
Excellent. That sounds great. I think the thing that's going to make or break this mode obviously will be the AI. I think people are suspicious of this mode a little bit because if you ever played it was essentially a training mode for Firewall. It was the only single player thing you could do in Firewall 0 Hour. Enemies would just come right at you. Like there was no AI attached to it. They were just like, run toward this guy and shoot him. And so I think people are skeptical that this is going to somehow be better than that. And I think it's going to be a lot better than that. We'll see. I mean, dude,
they talk about them like the only difference I see from, I thought when they revamped it actually wasn't bad or anything. It definitely was better than like Alvo's AI or Warzone's AI. But I thought it was like okay, but yeah, it's definitely not like it's not worthy. It wasn't worthy enough to be like, a single player attraction kind of game. And yeah, I don't know if I expect this mode to really be like, something for single player enough for single player gamers. I just think it's an alternate mode that's kind of cool. Maybe it is fun. Maybe it does stick and grow. But when it comes to like a single player thing, I feel like Crossfire has the better chance of being like a better single player experience.
Oh, absolutely. Although, I'm absolutely going to try to test. I'm going to test this out and see if I can play it by myself and see if the difficulty scales or how all that works. It would be very interesting. It would actually be cool if the difficulty didn't scale, right? So that you really do need your teammates to play through this, and the better you get at the game, like the fewer players you need to actually do an Exfil mission. I saw Danishing Act asked the question in the chat. He said, "How are the missions built for PvP and PvE if they're the same if they're the same maps as 0 Hour?" And I think that's important to note that they're not the same maps as 0 Hour. They've been changed. All the maps, even if they're the same locations you're familiar with, all the maps have been changed drastically. And so you're not going to be able to access certain parts that you used to. There's going to be brand new areas that you haven't seen before. Again, for anyone who thinks this is just Firewall HD or something, it's from what I've been told, it's a lot more than that.
I mean, I'd be totally okay with that. I wouldn't want them to change it for the worse. Like,
nope.
Like I personally, yeah, of course I want new content. I want new fresh stuff. But if you're bringing the classic stuff, like hopefully there's still a way to play them in the classic way because those are really good. That's how I didn't get 300 400 hours out of it. For nothing. Like it was really good.
Yeah. I keep feeling like I'm like in a position where I'm like defending things that I can't really defend. Like, I can only tell you what I've been told. And even then only so much. And until I get my hands on it, like I just don't, I don't have any real opinions. I think this is going to be good, but there's just no way to know until we actually have our hands on it. So fingers crossed that we have an awesome week this week because getting Firewall on PSVR 1 was one of the best weeks we ever had on PSVR. It was great, man. Jumping in with a bunch of people, especially in a style of game that I was not comfortable playing. I was like, tactical shooters, and like, not my thing. And we got in, and like all of us just kind of learned together. So, some of you guys were familiar with, variations of this on the flat screen, but I wasn't. So it was trial by fire, but it was really fun. Macho X3, the real estate procrastinating Gamecat, with the $10 tip says, I need a single player / co-op game that I can do missions my way, all out fire or stealth, and that I can load up at any time and play alone and just be tactical, clear rooms, and feel like John Wick. That sounds like a pretty good game. I don't think there's going to be any stealth in Crossfire, do you? I think that looks very straightforward, action oriented.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. But I agree, man. That sounds like a great game. I don't know what game it is that will fulfill all those requirements, though. All right, man. Let's get to this. Let's get to our main story today, and that is Paradox of Hope. This was such an interesting notification to get on Discord. If you guys are not familiar with Paradox of Hope, And give me a second. Let me bring up some of these trailers here so you can get a better idea of what this game looks like. This is on Steam Early Access, and it was planned to come to PSVR 2. It's by developer Monkey with a Bomb, and it's a self-described, this is how the developer described it, Metro, Stalker, Escape from Tarkov inspired game. So all the makings of a great game. And if you check out anybody's Let's Plays on YouTube, all different content creators checked it out. Everyone seems to love it. Everyone, you know how everyone with Dash Dash were like, it's Mario Kart in VR, and then when it was Stride, they're like, it's Mirror's Edge in VR. Well, it's Metro in VR, and I think that's something that a lot of people really wanted.
The Metro series is great.
So I'm going to bring up this store Steam listing.
It's no Resistance, but it's good. I'm
going to bring up the Steam store listing of this. This has been taken off of Steam, by the way. And so we got to do this with a little help from our good friends over at the Wayback Machine. Hopefully this will work. Hopefully this will work. I don't know if it's going to work. All right, well, let me know if this pops up. Oh, shit, hold on a second. What the hell? Sorry, I got a couple different things going on over here.
It's no Bloody Roar. It's no Cool Borders 2.
You just do this to torture me, don't you?
But I like the Metro series.
Interesting. Okay, well, the Wayback Machine definitely worked for us earlier. So I'm just going to read a little bit from the... Oh, there it is. Poof, it took a little while for it to kick in. Since this has been removed from the Steam store, I had to use the Wayback Machine in order to let you guys know what the description of this was. It said, Paradox of Hope is an immersive single-player VR shooter with survival and horror elements. Explore mysterious metro mazes of post-apocalyptic Moscow. Use stealth or combat approach to achieve your goal. Upgrade your arsenal and achieve ... and achieve something else. Let's see. Embark on an exciting journey through an atmospheric single-player campaign. Play as a stalker, dragged into the chain of horrific events. Rectify your mistakes and find a way to save the metro. Yeah, so there's different modes. One of them that they're detailing here is called Raids, extraction-based game mode with procedural level generation. Test your survival skills in a deadly environment. Choose your gun, stock up on filters and first aid kits, collect valuable loot, and find a way out of the location. But if you die, you lose everything, very Tarkov-like. Sell the loot and use the money to buy a cooler gun. Spend them, for example, on a larger backpack. It's got a single-player campaign, endlessly replayable raids with procedural level generation. Possibility of stealth, weapon modifications, equipment upgrades, immersive gameplay mechanics, plenty of accessibility options. This kind of seems like it had it all. And then yesterday, they got hit with an accusation of copyright infringement. And this, I mean, I gotta say that, you know, when you have small developers that are like this, that are putting their heart and soul into a game, and that this has become their sole source of income, like what they're doing in life, you know, it's detrimental, right? And so if you go over to the Paradox of Hope Discord server, Nick Z over there, the developer who posted this, said, "Very bad news. Here's what happened. Unfortunately, today I have some bad news. Recently, Paradox of Hope has been accused of copyright infringement. In the game Paradox of Hope, no names, characters, events, assets, or code from any other game are used, and its lore and story are original. The setting, idea, or gameplay mechanics cannot be protected by copyright. Therefore, I sincerely believe that Paradox of Hope does not violate anyone's copyright and only uses similar imagery and analogous elements inherent to the genre of Soviet post-apocalyptic shooters. However, unfortunately, the one with the more money has the upper hand in legal matters. I simply cannot afford to take this into the realm of legal proceedings. Consequently, the further development of Paradox of Hope is halted, and the game will no longer be available for purchase. This is a very difficult day for me. They've taken away not only my sole source of income, but also my beloved creation, in which I poured my soul and heart into over the last 4 years. But most of all, I'm sorry that I've let you down. For all those who supported me in the early stages of development, please forgive me. I have no words to express how sorry I am. So what happens next? As far as I know, those who already own the game will be able to continue playing it. It will remain in your Steam library. All the recent changes I made in the past few days in an attempt to save the game have been rolled back. I intend to take all the accumulated experience from working on Paradox of Hope and release a new game in the same genre, but without using the Moscow Metro setting. I will likely seek the support of a major publisher this time to ensure avoiding copyright issues. In this Discord, I will share the very first news about the new game and will conduct closed testing. I'll try my best to ensure that everyone who purchased Paradox of Hope will have access to testing, will also receive the new game for free upon release. Once again, I offer my deepest apologies for the situation, and I hope that you will all stay here and follow the updates. He goes on to say some really kind of, I gotta say, probably some very noble things. He says, I won't disclose who raised the copyright infringement claims, and I kindly ask you to cease all speculation in this regard. I urge no one stir up a scandal, and especially not to blame anyone for it. The situation has been resolved peacefully. Please don't make it worse. I don't want to cease all speculations in this regard, AJ. I mean, if it's not...
You are disobeying his final wish, Brian.
If it's not clear, I mean, if it's not clear, it's the Metro developers. And actually, probably not even Metro developers. Metro developers were Deep Silver, and they were recently acquired by Embracer Group. And so my guess is that that's exactly what happened, is that, Embracer Group is this sort of monopolistic type entity that keeps gobbling up developer after developer after developer. Vertigo Games is under their umbrella, and I feel like that they'll protect their IPs at all cost. AJ, the reason I want to talk about this, I mean, for multiple reasons, right? First and foremost, this was going to be a PSVR2 game.
I was going to ask about that. Okay, so I was like, was this like confirmed, or
yes.
At least? I guess the developer probably said, I mean, I look at it as like one of those things where the developer was probably like, yeah, like they just say it, but there's not any movement or anything behind the scenes is kind of what I would assume here. Unless he has a PS5 dev kit and a PSVR2 dev kit, then it's like one of those, yeah, I'm going to bring it to PSVR2, but I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting guess. Like, we don't know. Like, very frequently, developers who have games of this caliber, games of this quality, have been working with Sony longer than we've been aware. And we've been talking about this game for the better part of a year now, maybe a year and a half. And so I couldn't tell you exactly. Exactly where in development that this game was for PSVR2, if it even started development, or being an early access game, if it was just on the roadmap way far out in the future. The fact is,
that's what I would guess.
The fact is I'm sad about this because I watched one of the cats was streaming this in Discord, and I watched it. The early parts of this, the single player campaign, yes, it was survival horror, but the early parts of it almost feel very escape room like, where you're like solving puzzles, and it's just this great dark gritty atmosphere. And then seeing what they've added to it since then, it just seems like it's been going in the right direction, and was really headed to be one of those more full-fledged, more the kind of game that we want in VR. The reason
I will say it does look very nice, like from everything I'm seeing. It does look nice.
The other reason I bring this up is because does this set a bad precedent? Because obviously this is not a carbon copy of Metro by any stretch of the imagination, right? Yet again, yes, he's right. It's a similar setting, right? It's post-apocalyptic, Metro. Russian setting, but it's certainly not an identical game. It doesn't. This might set a bad precedent for games like Stride, right? Here we are waiting, like somebody desperately, please, we're asking EA, please bring us Mirror's Edge in VR, and they don't, and then we get Stride, and then this sets a bad precedent where EA turn around and say, yeah, we just don't like the fact that, you know, you've made a game that kind of looks like ours and kind of has the same idea. Shut it down.
I mean, yeah, you know, the thing with Stride was they sold it as a very much a parkour game, and that's a common thing. Like, yeah, just I think this maybe went a little too far. I mean, you even see something like, I don't know, Beat Saber is a good example of how you can get away with stuff. Like I think maybe where they went too far, maybe calling it the Metro, you know, make up the name.
Yeah.
Call it the Norman Gorb, and you may have avoided a copyright lawsuit. The Blarkenkarker.
The Norman Grump.
The Norman Grump.
Very nice.
But I think when you actually introduce some of the verbiage and the names and the things like that, it's like it would be as if Beat Saber calling Beat Saber lightsaber rhythm game. It's like I'm pretty sure Disney would have stepped in and been like, no, you can't do that.
Sure.
It's not this guy's fault. Like, you know, he obviously created this with good intentions, with inspired intentions, and yeah, but he just made a couple wrong moves, which again wasn't his intention to cross that line. But
I mean, you do understand that the Metro is just what it's called in Moscow, like, or they have the same rights to use it as Deep Silver did, right?
Yeah,
it's not like Deep Silver suddenly got the rights to using that when they made the Metro series.
Well, yeah, and then maybe it's just a little stroke of bad luck. Maybe the wrong person, or the person that had the ability to do something said, you know what? No, I don't like this. The person that had the power to do this, stopped it from happening.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it happens. Sounds like a stroke of bad luck to me.
For real. I mean, what I don't like about it is that it just as he said in the description that I read, or the explanation that I read from the developer, he said it's just whoever has more money controls the situation. I absolutely believe that something like this wouldn't hold up in a court of law. There's no way that this would hold up. If he had the money to defend himself, if he had the money to go to court and actually, put up a fight, there's no way he'd lose. So it's a stroke of bad luck. It also makes me wonder, do we need to stop with these videos that are like, it's Metro in VR, right? So it's like we're like actually, screaming it from the rooftops. Hey, everybody that owns the rights to Metro, come pay attention to this game over here that's kind of ripping you off, right? It's like, I stopped doing this a long time ago. I mean, even though, the thing is that with VR, not everybody understands. It's not easy to grasp the concept of what games are trying to do, what they're trying to show what it's like to play or experience the game. And so the easy way to do that is, let's take VR Skater, for instance, recently. What's everyone's first question? Is it Tony Hawk in VR? I mean, that's how, there's just it's the easiest way to explain these kinds of things. So true. And I think it gets clicks too, right? Because when you refer to the popular flat screen game, it's an easy way for people to be like, "Ooh, that does sound interesting," rather than saying Paradox of Hope is a cool new video game, right? It's like, no, that's not going to get the same kind of clicks as it's Metro, right, but in VR. So I totally get why we do it.
Yeah, but I don't do it because it definitely gets annoying. Like it seems so obnoxious to me at this point. But but at the same time, it's like, I kind of understand and whatnot, and yeah, maybe that did get him into a little bit of trouble. Maybe somebody saw that, like, oh, this is literally Metro, and people with the money said, "Nuh-uh."
Yeah. Yep. Man, Bear, Pig, Game Cat in the chat with the $2 tip, I believe. Did I copy and paste this? There it is. Says, thanks, AJ, for still doing this show on the road. Appreciated.
You're welcome, man.
You set up that computer light speed when you got home, man. Like, I didn't think you were going to make it. It was 5 minutes before the show, and I'm still waiting for you to show up. I'm like, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you guys for, just being awesome. There's a lot to talk about. I know we've been ranting about a bunch of random stuff today, but it's a lot of cool stuff going on.
Yeah. Macho X3, the real estate procrastinating Gamecat with $2 tip says, I really hope CWS sees this story. Be careful. Yeah, I'm really, like I said, I'm really happy that this guy took the right. He went. I think he went the right way about it, right? Because it was a losing battle. There was no way he was going to be able to afford to defend this thing, and then on top of that, he's got a plan. He knows that his gameplay mechanics are solid and that they don't infringe on anybody's copyright. He knows that the only reason people are calling this Metro in VR is because of the setting. He knows the only reason anybody's complaining about this being a copyright infringement is because of the setting. And so he's just going to take everything and give it a new setting. And I hope he does that, and he's able to do it quickly because it seems like he was making amazing progress on this, and I would hate for him to lose all of that just because of a pretty silly I would call it a misunderstanding, to be honest, but it is a lot more like financial bullying.
Yeah, hopefully the redesign goes well.
Your Long Shadow says that's when you put Tornado in a shirt and make her your co-host, Brian. I guess if you don't show up, I'm getting Tornado on here next time. It'll be the most watched show we ever do. Tornado as a co-host, as Tornado as the only host. All right, man. With all of that out of the way, I think it's time for a little PSVR 20 questions. Do you have a game picked out, AJ?
I do, Brian.
Oh no.
Yep.
Is it really difficult, AJ?
I don't know, Brian.
I feel like we've been going for each other's throats a little bit these last few Mondays.
We've been going for definitely. We've been relentless.
All right, you guys know how this works. We got 20 yes or no questions in only 6 minutes to figure out what game AJ's thinking of. It could be PSVR 1 or PSVR 2. On your mark. Get Des. Go. Is this game on PSVR 1?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. It's going to be a deep cut, isn't it? Did I review this game?
Yes. I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah, you may want to Google that. Reviewed. Okay, so it's a PSVR game that I reviewed. So it can't be too deep of a cut, although I did review some fucking deep cuts back in the day. Is this game controlled with move controllers?
Yes.
You sound so not confident about any of the answers so far. Does this game use any other type of controllers? Have you played this game? I'm just kidding.
Hold on.
Okay, so it seems like it's a game that mostly uses the moves. PSVR 1, at least. We don't know if it's PSVR 2 yet. I have reviewed it, apparently. Shades of Grey Matter is asking if there's any kind of multiplayer.
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
No multiplayer. Do you, Ian Stanbridge, do you control vehicles in this game?
Okay, this is I would say yes.
Yes for vehicles?
I think so.
I don't think you've ever played this game.
I might not have. No, I have. It is. Okay. I think it is only move controllers.
Okay, stop wasting my time. Scott, the PSVR Gamecat for Life, says, does it contain dinosaurs, ninjas, cowboys, ghosts, dragons, robots, or zombies? I like that. That's 7 questions in one.
Dinosaurs, dragons, ninjas, cowboys, ghosts.
Dragons.
It
robots,
might
zombies.
have. It might have one of those.
This is not going well.
This is a little bit harder than I expected.
Yeah. Try being on this side of it. Okay, I like Your Long Shadows questions. Does it contain mini games?
Like actual mini games? No.
Is this a collection of
so.
games?
No.
Okay.
That's 8.
Was this a launch title?
Man. No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's got to be pretty early because AJ's not sure, but fairly certain it's not. That means it's not Riggs, Vanishing Act. Bearded Power 666 asks if there's any shooting in this game. We're just
Why is this so difficult, man?
At this point, I'm just steamrolling your answers because you're wasting my time.
I should have picked something that I like kind of knew something. I mean, I thought I knew something about this game. Apparently, I know nothing about it.
Okay.
I've played this game a lot. Why do I know so little about it? There might be, it's not a shooter. If that's what you're asking, it's not a shooter.
Okay. Tatum's wondering if you use a flamethrower in this. Can you use a flamethrower?
I don't think so.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna give you 10. Yeah, I'm giving you some freebies here because
Mark Smith says he's switching games mid-game.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'll explain after what has happened.
Has this
here.
developer made multiple PSVR games?
Yes.
Okay. Was this made by Endreams?
No.
Okay. Was this made by Servios?
No.
Is this made by Arvory?
No.
Is this a bad game?
That's an opinion.
What's your opinion?
Yes.
Okay.
If not painfully mediocre.
If it's Neptune Flux, I'm gonna fucking shit a brick.
This is 15.
Was this made by is this an indie game? Like rather than like a big made from a AAA studio?
Definitely an indie game. That's 16.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Let's narrow down the developer. We'll use our last few questions to get this. Good call, Niles Ryan. I don't know why I keep thinking can't be Shadow Legend because there's no vehicles. Is it made by the Binary Mill?
Nope. 17.
It's made by Archaeact?
Nope. 18.
Yeah, we're running out of.
I don't think this was a good strategy.
No, definitely not. But also running out of time. Is this a horror game?
No. 19. You got to guess. Right?
Gotta guess.
I don't know. This is way harder than I expected.
I don't know anything about this game. It's something I reviewed. Use the move controllers. You can use vehicles. No multiplayer. Is this Star Bear Taxi?
Nope. It is not Star Bear Taxi. It is also not only on PSVR.
I should have asked that question a long time ago.
Like, I was like really surprised. I was like, wow, you really just assumed I was going for the jugular here. No, I wasn't. This is a game that I don't know when it came out, because this is what has happened, guys, is that I was looking at the page, and the page has been updated for PSVR2 for the version. So it's screwed up. Like I can't access the release date. I can't access like whether it had move controllers. I was having a hard time finding the publisher's name. I think has changed. This is by Makiwi Oi. This is the remaster of Cave Digger VR.
Excellent. VR Kiwi. Holy motherfucking
and
shit.
Yeah, man, I think you drive like a train in it. I don't know if it has a flamethrower. I don't know if you shoot in this game. You definitely do in the second one. You have tools, but I don't know if you have like a gun or anything.
Yeah, it's a good question because I never got far enough. Like I played the crap out of the original version of this when you couldn't leave the mine. What's it called? The mine shaft. And I think I saw all the endings, and then they updated it, and you could get out of the mine shaft, and you could go out into the town, and you could buy something to get the train working, and then you could start the train and head into the caves, and it just was this whole other game. I don't honestly know what the weapons were because there were enemies. But
I remember there was an X-ray machine. I remember there was like a drill.
Yep.
There was obviously a pickaxe thing. I don't remember a gun though.
But with the expansion came enemies in the caves, in which there were no enemies in Cave Digger proper. So I'm wondering if they did give you some kind of gun or some kind of something. Yeah.
I don't know.
Your long shadow says you are disqualified on several fronts, AJ.
I tried to answer the best I could. It was just the freaking page changed on me too. So blame Sony.
It's all good, man. It's all good. It was I don't know if I had picked this game. I don't know if I'd have been any better with the answers because you're right. It's I didn't play enough of the expansion to really know.
Yeah, I don't think anybody. Nobody played this. It's like 99 cents and nobody buys it, so that should tell you. People bought it for 99 cents and they still didn't play it. I just, that's not in my control.
Yeah, I hope. I remember this got an update recently, and I've been meaning to go back in because it didn't look very good after the update where you could leave the mine shaft. It had like very cool lighting and stuff prior to that, but then once they actually expanded the game world, everything looked really dull and flat and boring. And so I would really like if they kind of updated the graphics and gave us some better lighting. And I haven't gotten back to this since then. I've
always said that like I have respect for this game because I feel like it does a lot of VR mechanics like decently enough. It doesn't do everything like super well, but I always thought this was like a good. Like, this is what a lot of like the VR enthusiasts like, they like stuff like this where it's like all about what, just interacting with stuff in VR but it's just such a painfully boring game is my problem with it.
I didn't think it was boring, but I get it.
I thought it was so boring. Like it didn't do anything wrong except be super boring.
Gotcha. Well, another episode of Gamescast Live in the books. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out and watching the show with us, keeping us entertained while we tried to keep you entertained. It was a blast. Excuse me. Please don't forget to subscribe to all my co-hosts, including AJ. The links for all their channels are in the description below. Also, thank you to everybody else to channel run. We really appreciate you. Rypop's been uploading this on podcast services. Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry's still doing awesome with the timestamps. All the mods, again, are just fucking phenomenal. All the financial support that you guys give me over on Patreon, patreon.com/withoutprogames, and over here by being a member, and everybody who tips during the show, you have no idea how much it means. Like, I try not to make a big deal about it, but like I literally can survive and the channel can survive because of you, and I thank you very much for it. But there's the rest of you out there who watch the show, sit back, and don't say a goddamn word. And you know what? We love you just as much. Hey, Jay, it's Monday. Can I cue the cat?
Get the motherfucking cat, Brian, because I want to see you guys on West Day 2. John Miller, who says Iron Man, best VR game.
Whoa, hot take, John Miller.
Ian Marsh, the Darsh, says, Brian, what was your review score on Cave Digger? When you asked me that, I was thinking you didn't do a review, but you did a Why We Love review discussion.
I did a Cave Digger review, but that was before.
You did do a review.
That was before I scored games. I didn't start scoring games until Shadow Legends, so I couldn't tell you what my score would be. Probably like a 6.5, something like that. Like
That's
enjoyable,
generous.
But no. It was good. It was like a $10 game, and it was very charming. Very charming.
Ooh, McManus 007 says, "Go crazy, AJ!" Woo!
Did I hear a beep 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 in there? Really?
Scott, the PSVR game cat for life. Okay, Brian, you know now to cue the mofo cat, Brian, because AJ got to say bye to everyone. Yes, we're already there, my friend. Just like you, Melkaya, the soul reaving game cat says, "Take it easy." Thanks, Brian and AJ. Thank you, my friend. Shades of Gray matter. Jet moto for life, baby.
Beep, beep,
Brian
beep.
can never hold us down forever. David runs. Finally watched the show on my day off. Well, I hope it was a good one for you, my friend. Thank you. FooTube is in the house tonight. Says burn. Let's see here. Some people are talking about Immortal Legacy.
I like those people. Those people know what's up.
We got to give a shout out to Mad Vegan, who says just platinum Cave Digger last week.
Sweet.
The Indy Soul Loves VR says Tornado picks the next game. Dan Keeper says best 2 out of 3. They want more, Brian. They want more. Jay says way to AJ.
Nice.
That was an unintentional AJ. I think that's a combination of my driving 16 hours and having 5 hours of sleep and then working for like 9 hours. And I think everything just combined to really mess me up today.
Ian Marsh says, "Thanks, AJ. You're one of my favorite presenters on Without Parole." I love that. I love that he said one of my favorite presenters. You know, there's only 4 of us total. Like, so he's like, AJ, you're in my top 4, or you're in my top 3, but don't tell Miles.
I'm in the 25%.
You know what? Everybody's always like, "Oh, I love Wes. Oh, I love AJ. I love you, Miles." No one fucking loves Brian. I get it. I get how it is. You know. I won't take it personally.
I love you, dude.
Beep beep beep. Fucking that right there was the highlight of my day. Good night, everybody. We love you all. Come join us over on Discord. Meow.
Beep beep.